Okay folks, it's here and I've gone a little bit crazy. First off, we got to talk about the symbol for this talent puzzle piece with a plus. Perfect. Okay, let's get the main point out of the way. Is this going to replace every other backpack that you've ever used? Yes, of course it is. No, obviously backpack talents are incredibly powerful when they're paired with the right build. I think we've seen quite a few take their place as the optimal choice for specific builds, and quite often give us benefits and talents that are seemingly irreplaceable. So now that we have a backpack that doesn't really have a backpack talent, while it is a lot of fun and I'm going to enjoy the future making builds with it, it is, I think rightly so, not going to replace some of the most powerful builds out there. The really cool thing that this does that I'm so excited for is it gives so many more options. I find myself actually looking at the second and third brand bonuses far more often now. I've been reading a lot of different stuff out there online, and what I've settled on is I think what the consensus is, I think the most powerful way this backpack is going to be used is with 5 different gear brands. So you're getting essentially 10 gear brand bonuses, something obviously impossible up until this point. But I also think, as with the build I'm going to show you today, there are other builds that can benefit greatly from the NinjaBike Messenger backpack. That is a mouthful. We've got to settle on an acronym. Let me know, what do you think about NJBB, NJB, NBMB? Now it's just sounding like alphabet soup, but I feel like one of those is going to stick. I haven't seen a consistent response yet, but if you got thoughts, let me know. Okay, so right off the top, I'm doing this build a little bit differently, partially because I couldn't make my mind up, and partially to demonstrate part of why I'm so excited about the NinjaBike Messenger Bag. And that is just by changing one piece of gear between the bonuses that you're losing and the ones that you're gaining, you can be changing to 3 or even 4 bonuses just by swapping one piece of gear, which obviously was unattainable up until now. It's something that I'm really excited to explore. It increases the impact of each individual piece of gear, and it also gives a multitude of additional combinations that were unavailable up until now. So this is version 1. You can see there, changed the holster and the knee pads. Version 2 we'll get to in a minute. I'll go ahead and describe this build first and then get into the second version of the build. Full disclosure, this is the version that's probably more attention grabbing. It's going to grab more headlines because it's a max RPM build, makes your gun go fast, all that jazz. The second one is one I probably recommend more strongly. They're both very fun to play around with, but the second one has some additional survivability, I think makes better use of the NinjaBike Messenger Bag's talent. And part of the thought process here was showing 2 different versions to show just how dramatically you can change a build with some minor adjustments now that we have the resourceful talent that grabs 2 brand set bonuses every time you change a piece of gear. So with that in mind, let's run through this first build and then we'll get into the second. So the first version of this build is what is very likely the fastest RPM you can get. So between the 2 versions, the weapons don't change here. For the primary weapon, we've got the Chameleon, obviously a high base RPM to start out with, but when you pair the 2 gear sets that we've got down there, you're going to get up to the stated 1,035 rounds per minute, which feels extremely fast. On top of that, you can increase that RPM even further with the Umbra Initiative 4-piece talent. For our secondary weapon, we've gone with the Mop to get some armor on kill, and then on top of that we've gone with the preservation talent, gets you 10% more and an additional 20 if you get a headshot kill. For our sidearm, we've gone with the Orbit, specifically for the perfect finisher talent. For our mask, we have our first of 3 pieces of Umbra Initiative. Again, I will gush over the NinjaBike Messenger Bag's ability here. We have 3 Umbra Initiative pieces, but as you can clearly see, we get the 4-piece bonus. It's fantastic. Again, not trying to make it out to be more than it is. I'm just excited at the possibilities. But as you can see, we've got 3 pieces of Umbra Initiative on this build. 1 with the mask, 1 with the chest piece, and 1 with the gloves. For our 3 pieces, we get the 2-piece bonus of crit hit chance, 3-piece bonus of 30% reload speed, and the 4-piece bonus of from the shadows into the light. I'll let you read that whole blurb for yourself, but basically, while in cover, you gain stacks to increase your crit damage and your RPM. When you're out of cover, you're gaining stacks towards repairing your armor once you duck back into cover. For the Gun Go Fast tagline, obviously the offensive part of that talent is going to be more crucial, but both pieces feel really nice. And for the bag, we have the NinjaBike Messenger Bag. We've got confirmation. It's got 3 cores just like the Memento: weapon damage, armor core, and skill tier. I think that's a perfect decision given the talent resourceful, which, as you can read, I'll read it for you as well, slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a gear set bonus. It can unlock bonuses from multiple sets simultaneously and really just opens the door to a lot of theory crafting, stuff that was previously unattainable, and really just gets me excited. For this build in particular, we've gone with crit hit damage in the mod slot, which I forgot to mention, that's consistent throughout both the mask, backpack, and chest piece. We've got crit hit damage in the mod slot and crit hit damage or crit hit chance where appropriate. For our chest piece, we have our second piece of Umbra initiative. It is worth mentioning for this build in particular where we're chasing RPM, we are going with the chest piece for Umbra, not strikers, because we obviously don't have enough pieces of strikers to get the 4-piece talent, meaning that if you put a striker's chest piece on here, it's going to be wasted. But other than that, on this build, the mask, gloves, holster, and knee pads are interchangeable as long as you end up with 3 pieces of Umbra and 2 pieces of strikers. You can mix and match however you want. It makes no difference whatsoever. And for our gloves, we have our third and final piece of Umbra initiative to get us the wonderful 4-piece bonus. We've already gone over it. I won't belabor the point. I happen to have crit hit chance on this piece. It just works out to the balance. On this build, we ended up with 55.5% crit hit chance and 129% crit hit damage. You can certainly do better if your rolls are maxed out. For our holster, we've gone with our first of 2 pieces of Striker's battle gear, with the main aim to get to that 3-piece bonus of rate of fire. We have weapon damage and crit hit damage here, just like we have on the knee pads, which gets us to our 3-piece bonus. Now I'll show you some clips later on. Feels really cool, fires really fast. It's fun to play around with, but I found it honestly a little too fast, or more to the point, I don't think it's making full use of the NinjaBike Messenger Bag, given some of the more powerful things I think you can do. So with that, let's get into version number 2, which after test driving version number 1 for a little bit, while the super high RPM was really fun, ultimately I found myself wanting for a little more survivability, which led to the holster change. And then after I made the holster change, it wasn't really worth it to keep that 1 piece of strikers. So I started thinking, what would pair well with this build in that 6th slot, and I went ahead and buffed our primary weapon damage. So here we go, version 2 of our Gun Go Fast build. The gun doesn't go quite as fast, but I don't go down quite as fast either. So as you can see there, we've kept the 3 Umbra initiative pieces, and now because of the NinjaBike Messenger Bag, we've got 2 extra slots to play around with. Slot number 1, something I think you'll see a lot of from me and from everybody else on the internet, NinjaBike Messenger Bag and Picaro's holster, because what that gives you is a grand total of 6 core attributes all on its own. 6 attributes, 2 pieces, 3 from NinjaBike you can see there very easily, and then obviously from Picaro's holster you're getting your normal armor core, weapon damage core, and your skill tier core from only 1 piece, because as we have stated quite a bit, with the resourceful talent, NinjaBike grants that 2nd brand bonus of a skill tier, even though you only have 1 piece of Brazos Arquebus equipped. That's basically it. I think it's fantastic. I would imagine a lot of hybrid builds are going to be built around this 2-piece combo of NinjaBike and Picaro's. It'll be a fun test to see how many I can put out before you all get tired of it. And then on top of that, we've picked up 2 Fenris Group AB brand bonuses. The critical one is that 10% assault rifle damage, since we're using the Chameleon. And then on top of that, we also get 20% reload speed, which pairs really well with both the Chameleon's Adaptive Instinct talent and the Umbra Initiative 3-piece bonus of 30% reload speed. So with both of those active, you actually get up to 200% reload speed, which feels pretty great. But I will say the main point there is the 10% assault rifle damage, on top of which you maintain the weapon damage core. And then we thrown on some critical hit damage, and we had armor regen already on there. You could certainly go with more crit hit chance if you get a better piece here, but armor regen never really hurts either. And then to quickly touch on our skills, and part of the reason why I recommend version 2 over version 1, as you can see there, we get a tier 3 Artificer Hive, coupled with a tier 5 Crusader Ballistic Shield, and that comes from both the skill tiers and the armor cores provided by the backpack and holster. The shield in particular here feels far more durable on version 2 than it did on version 1, but obviously it comes down to personal preference. You're just going to have to try them both out and see what you think for yourself. Particularly this knee pad slot you can play around with. I obviously went with Fenris Group because we're rocking an assault rifle in the Chameleon, but if you go with a different primary weapon, you could obviously change this up a variety of different ways. That's what makes the NinjaBike Messenger Bag so exciting to me. You can go so many different ways, and now just changing one gear piece is going to dramatically alter a build that you're playing around with. So obviously this is coming at you pretty quick. I hope you spent a decent amount of time grinding to get the bag quickly so I could test it out, get a build out to you guys early, see what you think. Let me know in the comments what variations you would make. Let me know specifically in the comments what NinjaBike Messenger Bag builds you would like to see up next. I obviously, of my own volition, will be throwing a bunch together, but I am curious what you guys in the community are thinking. What are you most excited about? Where do you think losing a backpack talent is going to be worth it for the added versatility and the added bonuses that the NinjaBike Messenger Bag provides? Looking forward to hearing from you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Incoming hostiles detected. Immediate medical assistance needed. Detecting additional hostile contact. Agent fire.
That thing.
Civilians in danger. System curtailed.
There you are. Tossing a frag.
Detected. In my location, guarded by hostiles.
I'm on you. Over there.
Incoming hostiles detected. Civilians in distress.
Come on, let's do it.
Detecting additional hostile contacts. killed.